We just participated in one of the most incredible game jams of all time. The challenge was to come up with a game in 5 days to show to more than 100 participating developers from all over the world while in a real medieval castle.
Hey, wait a second, the castle had Wi-Fi?
Yep, yes it did. And here's what we were able to come up with.
3, 2, 1.
Ooh.
You missed?
Yeah.
Aw. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Uh,
1. Game over.
Wait a minute. Didn't it say we came here to develop something? Let's start from the beginning, shall we? We have traveled a long way from Brazil all the way to a castle called Jampil's Castle in Latvia. And we have worked hard to come up with something to show at this jam, but perhaps a little bit of an introduction to the team is in order. The team of 12 people that we have today wasn't always this big. Its origins, way back when, began with only 2 developers, Alex, the artist, and Alan, the main developer, and kept growing as time went by, adding in Colombo, another talented artist, and Gama, the sound designer. We just recently grew a little bit larger into the 12 people team that we are today by adding in 6 more programmers: Anderson, Lucas, Juan, Daniel, Max, and Felipe, which unfortunately couldn't make it to this game jam with us, but here's a totally professional and legit Photoshop adding of him. We also got Thiago, the game designer, to join us, and me. Since we were, a big group, we decided to split up in 2 different teams and began developing 2 very different games in the Soulstone Survivors universe. We came to this jam with the intent of leaving with 2 different ideas that we all would be excited to work on, and perhaps even ship as full games someday. Are these games going to exist at some point in the future as part of the Soulstone universe? Who knows, right? We don't know if this is going to be the case for now, because our focus is still 100% on Soulstone Survivors for the moment. One of the games we named Soulstone Party, and it is supposed to be a lighthearted party game with mini games and all of that, set within the Soulstone universe that is also meant to be multiplayer, so you can enjoy it with your friends. And the other project is a bit more, let's say, ambitious. We wanted to make a game that would be about the origin of the Void Hunters, where you would go to experience how their cult started and evolved, how the original members learned to open portals into the Void and first start harnessing its powers. The game would be centered around gathering resources, building the first Void Hunter temple, and surviving as outcasts in the wilderness, facing not only monstrous creatures, but the seeping corruption of the Void as well. Please do be aware that these ideas are really not final and in the extreme early stages of conceptualizing. But if you thought any of these 2 ideas are something you'd like to see as full games in the Soulstone Survivors universe, please do let us know in the comments below. And we are all very, very excited about the prospect of perhaps expanding the Soulstone Survivors universe someday. All of the development stuff is awesome and all, but we couldn't pass on the opportunity to explore this castle and its surroundings a little bit, of course. After all, the nerd in us just couldn't pass on it. So here's a little bit of boring context about the castle before we go exploring around a little bit. It was most likely built in the end of the 14th century by war slaves in the Old Country, known in medieval times as Emberland, famous for its trade crossroads. In the Middle Ages, amber could be a very, very valuable, even more valuable than gold and other precious metals. And nowadays, we call this country Latvia. The castle was built to house knights, especially those of the Livonian Order, and to this day, it houses many secrets. It was attacked and destroyed many times over by the Polish, the Germans, the Swedes, and there's a long list of enemies here. But enough of the boring history lesson and sitting inside all day and all that. After all, it's summertime, and we all know what that means, right? Medieval games, of course.
Today, we're here at Jampil's Castle, and as you can see, we're doing some archery. Look at this. How amazing is it, right? So here at Jampil's, there's actually a lot of activities to do, and one of them is this. So you got to shoot the crossbow, and we're getting shooting bow and arrow. This is actually a very medieval and interesting experience. And there's actually, as you can see in the background, there's a lot of us there, and yeah, we're practicing. We're trying to shoot those little animals right now.
Eu acho que ela tinha comentado.
Olha lá, fala dele aí agora.
Toma.
Boa. Ó,
Good job.
And here's us trying a little bit of the other activities, such as axe throwing and crossbow shooting. Hey, it's harder than it looks, okay?
olha lá.
And we even had a little guided tour towards the end of a little play session here. And he explained a little bit of how medieval armors worked and how they were made. And he also talked about the medieval torture devices.
Well, you just sit on it, your hands is here or here, and then all depends on the time. Yeah, how much time you need to sit on it.
Yep, I think I'm good. Let's get back to the castle now, shall we? It's time to start saying goodbye to a little adventure here. Alan actually gave a speech about Soulstone Survivors. You know, he talked a little bit about the game, how he was able to find us and hire us, all of the who's and how's, and people actually had some questions, some business-related questions, but, you know, it was fun nonetheless. And on the day following, it was unfortunately time to say goodbye. Goodbye to the castle, to the new friends that we made, and of course to the beautiful, beautiful country of Latvia. This was such an amazing opportunity for us. You know, since we work remotely, and some of us live in Brazil, some of us don't, and I think I can speak for everyone on the team here that this was a really cool and unique team building experience that we are all going to remember for the rest of our lives, right? And our hosts actually gave us a proper medieval goodbye.
Step back. The gunpowder still comes from China. Can you step back, please? I'm not taking any guarantees. As you wish, as you asked for, the cannon was shot.
From all of us, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for supporting the game, supporting us in this wild journey. I hope that you all continue to like the games that we make, the updates that we release, all of the rest that comes with it. Thank you. Farewell. See you on the next one, Survivors.